Let's try that one again. The Big D is so sorry. He was having some technical issues for about 15 minutes straight there, and he didn't realise it until he was told by some of his very loyal viewers. So thank you for that. The Big D is a little bit frustrated because of this, because he was on a roll talking about Marcus Rashford going to Barcelona. He's also a little bit embarrassed because he was talking like a mute for about 15 minutes straight. But hey ho, these things seem to happen. So for Niche Fan and Famous Number 7, thank you so much for pointing that out. And it's a good job I checked the chat there after I waffled on for 15 minutes straight. But we shall do take 2. It's a good job the Big D is a classically trained actor with 15 years experience, because he knows how to do a second take. So this is take 2. We shall try this again. Welcome to the Big D streams tonight, Monday the 21st of July. It is warm. The Big D's sweating and the Big D is thirsty, but the Big D's got his water, so he should be okay. Tonight, we are going to be talking about Marcus Rashford going to Barcelona on loan for the 25-26 season. We're going to be talking about this interesting development with Gyokores potentially not going to Arsenal and potentially going to Manchester United instead. Now, this one's came out of nowhere, but we'll get into that in just a quick second. We'll have a little mention about Brian Mbeumo passing his medical and potentially being on, well, most likely being on that USA pre-season tour. And we'll also be talking about this situation with Nicholas Jackson and about this price tag that Chelsea have placed on that poor lad's forehead. But we'll get into that. But as ever, you know how this works. You know the drill. If something is on your mind, if something is bubbling up inside of you that you need to express, please express it in the chat. The Big D reads all of the chat, and he's always interested in what is on your mind. So, hopefully, this microphone stays working. And to be honest, I have no idea what went wrong. I don't even know how I fixed it, but it seems to be working now. So, we'll try again. Right, so we were talking about Marcus Rashford. So yeah, Marcus Rashford, he has gone, or is going, it looks like, to FC Barcelona. Now, this was the move that he wanted. He wanted this. This is the only place that he wanted to go realistically. This was his first choice. This was his dream move if leaving Manchester United. He's going to play with Lamine Yamal. I always get that mixed up. I'll have to double check that. He's going to be playing with Lewandowski. He's going to be playing with Pedri, Gavi, Rafinha. How he's going to get in that side is a different kettle of fish, and that is what we are going to be discussing on this stream tonight, because Rafinha and Yamal hit Messi numbers last season, and Lewandowski was as prolific as ever. And Lewandowski, I mean, I think it's safe to say he's one of the greatest number 9 pure goal scorers football has ever seen. He has been absolutely electric every single club that he's played for. Granted, he's played in some amazing sides, but he is a big game player. He's prolific, and he's just an absolute goal machine. And he's about, 102, and he's still bagging goals. So that just shows you that he's a modern-day Ferenc Puskas. You remember him? Probably not, because I don't think there'll be many people alive that remember Ferenc Puskas. Certainly no one watching this live stream, unless that they've looked him up on YouTube, and I recommend that you do, because Ferenc Puskas was the Real Madrid version of Robert Lewandowski. But anyway, so as of July 2025, Marcus Rashford has basically signed for FC Barcelona on a 12-month loan. He's passed his medical, as it stands, and Barcelona are covering his entire weekly wage, which is probably going to save Man United about 15 million for the season. And if he does well and Barcelona decide that they want to sign him, then they can sign him for about £30 million if they want. See, the thing is, the way I look at this is that's a lot of money for someone that's probably just going to be sitting on the bench. Now, unless Hansi Flick is going to change his tactics and play a more counter-attacking style as opposed to pressing, then I don't necessarily see how Marcus Rashford is going to start in that side. Because Marcus Rashford plays his best football in transitions and just beating people with his pure blistering pace. And to be fair, he's a lethal finisher. He's just not really consistent. And he's not very good at pressing as well. But we'll get into this. So, and Hansi Flick's, he's, I don't think he's a pushover, this Hansi Flick. So if he starts getting in his face, we know how Marcus Rashford seems to react to managers that are quite heavy-handed with him, like Ruben Amorim. He was just, it just doesn't seem to get into his hard head, So, but you never know. You never know. Maybe Marcus Rashford just fancies a change and he wants the sunshine and all of that at Barcelona. But let's break this down a little bit. So what does Marcus Rashford... I mean, we all know what Marcus Rashford brings to Barcelona, but we're going to talk about it anyway. So, yeah, as I've just said, Rashford thrives in the transition. He's got direct running and he's got explosive pace. Barcelona under Flick may lean into faster counter-attacks if they're going to be playing this guy. He's a nightmare in space, particularly down the left-hand side, and he can... Well, it says here that he can break down compact low blocks, but I don't remember Marcus Rashford breaking down low blocks very well. He always thrived when Man United played in a low block and we beat teams on the counter under, say, Jose Mourinho and in Eric Ten Hag's first season when Marcus Rashford was his most prolific when he bagged about 30-odd goals. And he hasn't been as prolific since then when Eric Ten Hag changed the style. Now, the Big D is just going to check this, have a little break. Niche fan, yes, you can hear me. Fantastic. Thank you very much, my friend, for spamming the last chat. I do appreciate that because I wouldn't have realised. I'd have been talking for an hour and you'd have just been watching me mute. So, Niche fan, good luck to Rashi. I know he will play amazingly there. It's his dream move. We need the money. We do need the money. It is his dream move. Good luck to him. Fair enough. I kind of agree with that. But, I don't know, he's left Man United with a bad taste in our mouths, if you're like me. I used to go and see him fairly regularly last season and the season before. And I'd watch him, and he always seemed very lazy. He's going to be a pressing machine there. He doesn't have a choice. Well, yeah. Quite right there, Niche fan. He won't have a choice, to be fair. Or else he's going to sit on the bench. I think he's just going to be a 300 grand a week bench warmer, to be honest. Not Brett May. Yeah. Okay. You're talking about Rashford there with your emojis. Not entirely sure, my friend. Niche fan again. Oh, hang on. MU intrigued. Rashford hasn't got it anymore. No, I kind of agree with that. Niche fan, not in a million years. We will get top 5, maybe top 4, and Bumo, Cunha, and maybe even Mateta incoming. Yeah, Mateta. I'm not sure he'd be my first choice, Niche fan. Not Brett May and Bumo laughing emoji. I don't know what you mean by that. Not Brett May. I mean, Bumo's a pretty decent player. I think we overpaid for him a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see. He deserves his shot. But let's get back to my Marcus Rashford chat. So yeah, he's going to be bringing Barcelona with a bit more left-sided depth, and with Marcus Rashford, they'll be able to play a little bit more expansive as well, because he hugs the line a lot more than what Fati, João Felix and Gavi do. They tend to sort of drift inside more than what Marcus Rashford normally does. And also that allows for a bit more width without sacrificing goal threat for Barcelona, assuming Marcus Rashford is motivated and he's still got his shooting boots. And we all know Marcus Rashford is quite lethal. He's a good finisher, to be fair. Which leads quite nicely. Even in an underwhelming 24-25 season, Rashford's shooting technique and power do remain lethal. It's just, physically speaking, he's still in his prime. What is he, 27, going on 28, Marcus Rashford? I mean, he's still got 3 years left in him, because footballers are a lot more professional now. They look after the bodies a lot more. So Marcus Rashford, he is an amazing athlete, to be fair. It's just what's going on up here. If Barcelona can unlock what's going on up here, then they've got a player on their hands there, to be fair. He provides tactical flexibility, so he plays on the left, but he can also play up front as well. And he plays quite well with a bit more of a target man up front. So he could play up front with Lewandowski, who could be the target man. And, he can lay off, balls to Marcus Rashford to do, what he does. If they decide to do that in a 4-4-2, for instance. So with Marcus Rashford, he can play 4-3-3, he can play 4-4-2. He can even maybe do a 3-4-3 as well. Although I would argue that with the 3-4-3, it's not necessarily ideal for Marcus, because he didn't do particularly well for Manchester United. But you could argue as well, to be fair, that his head just wasn't in it with Ruben Amorim from the start. So who knows? But Marcus Rashford does bring big game experience. He's got Champions League pedigree. He's won trophies. He's won everything at Man United except the league and the Champions League. So he's won the FA Cup. He's won the Europa League. He's won the League Cup as well. So he's a winner, I suppose, or he has winning experience as well. Big game player. I mean, you can't argue that. He's bagged loads against Liverpool and Arsenal, and he played well against PSG as well that time when under Ollie. I mean, I don't think he'll have too much issues playing at the new camp. Like, in terms of the pressure, it's just whether or not, as we say, he gets over that laziness. He does more running in training than he does on the pitch. And I can attest to that because I've seen him play, and I've seen the footage as well when he trains as well. So, I mean, it says here he's mentally hardened by Old Trafford scrutiny, so he won't shrink at the new camp. Well, I mean, he did shrink at Old Trafford, to be fair. He did shrink. He got his big contract. He got lazy. Eventually the crowd turned on him, and he shrank even more. So it's not like he's David Beckham when the whole nation was on his back, and then David Beckham in 99 became an absolute world beater. Played elite level football back then. Now it says here, and I kind of agree with this. I mean, despite the fact that Barcelona are covering his full wages, so it's about what, 350k a week? 350 grand per week that boy's getting to go and play in the sunshine in Barcelona. He couldn't make that up, I tell you. Anyway, despite that, now Marcus Rashford could very well go to Spain and tear it up. He could. I mean, look at Anthony, right? And the thing is with Spanish football, it's a little bit more technical. They play, their football is a little bit more open and tactically astute and all of that. So that might suit Marcus Rashford's playing style. And if that's the case, then Marcus Rashford could just click there. Things could just fall into place. He might thrive and compete against Rafinha and Lamar and Lewandowski and all of that. And he might just turn him on, and all of a sudden he turns into the Marcus Rashford that we all think he should be, to be fair. And if that's the case, they've got a 30 million buy clause. So if he goes there and becomes a world beater, bags 30, 35 goals for them, then 30 million is going to be a snip for that version of Marcus Rashford. So Yeah, and he's an England international. It would be a bargain for Barcelona. So I suppose it is a low-risk, high-reward option for the Catalan club. And, Rashford, he does need a restart. It offers sunshine, technical football, and, a less toxic media pressure than in Manchester. Although I do resent that from what I'm reading here, because the Man United fans gave Marcus Rashford a lot of leeway. A lot more leeway than what probably the Barcelona fans will probably give him as well. So he better go there, and if he wants to stay there, he better go there, put the effort in, and start scoring goals, or else those Barcelona fans will boo him. Guaranteed. So yeah, which goes quite nicely into possible challenges for Marcus Rashford, really. He's been quite inconsistent, especially in decision making. His defensive work rate isn't good at all, so that would class with Hansi Flick's pressing system as well. And he's German, and them Germans don't mess about, to be fair. So I can see Hansi Flick getting in his face a little bit, and he won't like that. Marcus Rashford doesn't like people getting in his face. So Marcus does need an emotional and psychological reset. If he gets that and he puts the effort in, then he'll do well. But it remains to be seen if he's able to do that. So the final verdict: if used properly, Rashford gives Barcelona a different attacking dimension, vertical pace, chaotic unpredictability, and a genuine goal threat from wide. Although I can't see him doing well enough to be able to usurp Rafinha, who bagged Messi numbers last season. So he's got his work cut out for him as Marcus Rashford. I think he's going to be an expensive bench warmer next season for Barcelona. That's the Big D's verdict. But let's see what everyone else has got to say here. Let's see. MU intrigued. Do I think we'll get a striker? 50-50 at this point. 50-50, but we'll get into that in just a minute because I've got some interesting news about Gyokores. Not Brett May, and Boomo won't score more than 10 goals. Well, if that's the case, not Brett May, then that's still 10 more goals than most strikers scored for Man United next season, so it would be an improvement. Josh Szymanski, I think I've pronounced that right. Let me know if I haven't. I know it's not been mentioned, but I feel we need to look at centre-back too. Surely we need to increase depth after Evans and Lindelof departures. Yeah, I understand what you're saying there, Josh, but personally, I don't think it's a priority position. I really like De Ligt, and if Martinez comes back next season fully fit, then he's a good signing for us. A good option for us. And also we've got Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire is a good player. He's a good player. He's not a world beater, but he's a good player and he'll do a job for us. We've got Luke Shaw coming back as well. He can play in one of those back three. Mazraoui can play there as well, and we don't want to hinder Aiden Heaven's progress. And Lenny Yoro showed some flashes of brilliance last season as well. So he's going to be a really talented player, and I think next season is going to be a big season for Lenny Yoro as well. So personally, I don't think we need anything at centre-back next season. I think there's other positions that need more depth. Man U intrigued. Top priority is a striker, then a central midfielder and a goalkeeper. Okay, fair enough. On the top, a striker, fair enough. I agree with that. Central midfield, I don't think that's a priority position because Casemiro's a good squad player. We've got Ugarte. I think he'll kick on again next season. I think he's a really good player as well. Kobbie Mainoo. If Kobbie Mainoo stays fit, he's going to be a brilliant option. Plus also we've got Mason Mount and we've got Bruno Fernandes that can play there as well. So I think we're all right in central midfield. But goalkeeper, I 100% agree. We need a new goalkeeper. Yes, I agree. MU intrigued. Rashford is nowhere near what he used to be. A bit like how Kaká was. Not as good, but went from decent to... Yeah. The only thing I'm going to say to that MU intrigued is how on earth can you have Rashford and Kaká mentioned in the same couple of sentences. That is a disrespect to Kaká. Kaká was genuinely world class, and he was unplayable for about 2.5 seasons. So, niche fan, I understand what you're saying about Rashi leaving a sour taste. That massive contract made him lazy. Yes, it did. Niche fan again. He's worth 300k as he was a 100+ million pound player when we gave him his big contract. Yeah, no, fair enough. He earned that contract up until the point that he got the contract. But then from the point that he got the contract, it was almost as if it was his mission to prove that he wasn't worth the contract from then on. So, yeah. MU intrigued. I thought Barcelona had no money as well. It wasn't that long ago. They were shipping out Messi and Piqué and Iniesta and all those guys on those massive £1 million a week contracts. And then, getting rid of Griezmann and all of this. And then all of a sudden they couldn't register certain players because they were skinned. Yeah, I agree. I don't know how they can afford to pay 300 grand a week. I think it's more than that. Is he on 350? Do you know what? I'm going to find out exactly what Marcus Rashford's on here. I want to know exactly what Marcus Rashford is on. Let's see here. Let's get on the old Google machine, because I want to know exactly how much is Rashford's weekly basic wage at United. Let's see. Consent. What's he on? Wow. Yeah. He's on a weekly basic of £300,000 with potentially an extra £75,000 in bonuses. Now, he won't be on... he won't have got any of those bonuses because he barely played. So he's on about 300k a week. Good grief, that's a lot of money that for a player that's just going to sit on the bench for Barcelona. So yeah, how they can afford to pay £300,000 a week for a player that's just going to bench warm, I don't know. MU intrigued again. It's better for United. He's went to the Spanish league because he isn't a Premier League player anymore. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I wouldn't necessarily agree with what you're inferring in terms of the Spanish league being inferior to the Premier League. I wouldn't say it is. I would say it's different to the Premier League in that it's more tactical, it's more open. The smaller teams tend to play a little bit more technical and attacking a little bit and all of that. So that might suit Marcus Rashford a little bit better, and it's not as physical. Because if you look at Anthony last season. Anthony was class for Real Betis. Became a cult hero. Scored some amazing goals. He's got a highlight reel from last season alone as Anthony. So if Marcus Rashford can do something similar there at Barcelona, then we'll see. Yeah. Niche fan Hansi Flick has been on the phone to him and told him exactly what he expects. He's going to be amazing for them. He's down tools on us. He won't be on the bench. Maybe. I actually hope that Marcus goes there and plays really well, and he becomes the world beater that he is, that he should be. I genuinely hope that, but I can't see it happening. Delict is amazing. I agree, niche fan. Yes, centre back is the least of our worries. I agree. I think Casemiro's legs have gone. We will have to use Ugarte. Yeah, no, fair enough. I agree with that, but he's a good squad player. Brings big game experience, and he'll be good to have in the dressing room as well. And he could help Ugarte sort of develop into, the modern day Casemiro. But I would say Casemiro played quite well last season when Ruben Amorim sort of adjusted the tactics ever so slightly, so that he didn't have to do as much running, and he just kind of dictated the play a little bit more. So I think he's certainly still got something to offer. I mean, he's not worth the 400k a week that we've been playing him anymore, but he's one more season's going to be fine. Niche fan, I love the Big D channel. Oh, thanks, mate. I really appreciate that. I do try. And again, I do apologise about earlier on in the evening with my technical glitch. That was very embarrassing and quite annoying as well. But I completely disagree that Rashford will be a bench warmer. Hansi Flick will start him for sure. I can't see it, Nish. I can't see it, mate. I mean, we've talked about this on a previous stream, pal. I mean, whose place is he going to take? He's not going to take Robert Lewandowski's place because he scored about 55 goals last season. Rafinha, on the left wing, which is Rashford's position, he got about 40-odd goal contributions last season, including about 30 goals and 20 assists or something like that. And then he's certainly not going to take Lamal's place on the right wing. He can't even play right wing, but he's not going to replace the Lamal, even if Lamal wanted to play in the nets. So where else is he going to play? His position, he's always been best playing on the left, cutting inside, and Rafinha is a tried and tested commodity for Barcelona. He's a proven world-class player, consistent world-class player, and Marcus Rashford just... I can't see it, Nishvan. I hope he proves me wrong, and I hope you are right, and he becomes the player that we all hoped he would be at Manchester United more consistently, but I just can't see it, my friend. But I appreciate, this is all opinions. I appreciate your opinion as ever. We don't have to agree on anything, but that's what open and honest and friendly debate is all about. This is the channel of freedom of speech. You can say what you want. Let's just keep it polite. Anyway, but why on earth would they want him on the bench for 300k a week? Something has to be happening behind the scenes with Rafinha. Maybe. But the thing is, yeah, it's going to be 300 grand a week, but long term, it's worth the gamble, the financial gamble, because if he goes there and he's crap, all they've paid is 300 grand a week for 12 months and can ship him back to Man United. So what's that about? 15 million for the year for a player like Marcus Rashford to sit on the bench. I mean, fair enough. And plus, they'll recoup that with shirt sales as well, with merchandise. You'll bring more appeal to Africa, to America, more Barcelona appeal in the UK as well. So you'll make his money on merchandise alone, to be fair, because he does have a bit of a global brand. So from that perspective, the shirt sales alone will probably pay his weekly wage. And if he's crap, then they can just ship him back. But if he does turn into an absolute world beater, then 300k a week is going to be a snip, and 30 million buyout clause or whatever it is going to be an absolute bargain long term for Barcelona, and then they'll be able to justify everything else. So I think it's a bit more of a financial, what's the word? It's a calculated risk on Barcelona's part as well. I think that's the situation there with Marcus Rashford. But we've spoken for about half an hour on Marcus Rashford. To be fair, I've been speaking for about 12 months about Marcus Rashford. So we're going to move on. And we are going to move on with a really interesting situation developing with Victor Gyokores. As it stands, apparently Arsenal have been farting about with signing Victor Gyokores and negotiating with Sporting Lisbon. And Sporting Lisbon might be getting a little bit frustrated with the situation, because Arsenal think that no one else wants this guy, so that they think they can maybe mess Sporting Lisbon around, which has then opened the door for Manchester United to snake in and hijack the deal. So we're going to look at this a little bit here. We're going to break this down. Okay. So Victor Gyokores, 27-year-old, scored 33 league goals for Sporting Lisbon last season. He's powerful, direct, presses from the front, built for the Premier League. Now, Arsenal's position at the moment is, so Gyokores' preferred destination is Arsenal. That's where he wants to go, They've agreed personal terms. And the offer that Arsenal have had on the table is 63.5 million euros, roughly, plus 10 million in add-ons. Okay, euros, that is. But the issue is Sporting aren't fully convinced by the add-ons. They think there's too many that there are too many add-ons and that they might never trigger. Okay. Now, the thing is with United, obviously Victor Gyokores knows Ruben Amorim very well. In fact, Ruben Amorim basically created this guy into the monster that he is to become the most in-demand number 9 in world football at the moment. So that's a plus for Man United. Man United have launched a last-minute hijack attempt, and they've offered a deal that's actually close to 70 million euros with a better structure. Okay? So it meets Sporting Lisbon's expectations more directly. Now, Sporting's dilemma is that they actually want 80 million euros in total, but with realistic clauses. Okay? Now, the thing is, let me just get this, just having a little technical issue there. Do apologise. The thing is, Man United's add-ons are a little bit more achievable, okay? And even though it's about 10 million euros less than what they want, what Man United are actually offering is much more achievable for Gyokores to get, so which would mean that the Sporting Lisbon are guaranteed more money with the Man United deal than with the Arsenal deal itself. Now, we're going to break down why Gyokores potentially could be perfect for Manchester United. Now, I am not actually 100% convinced with Victor Gyokores, unfortunately. I think potentially he's hit his level with Portuguese football, and he might not necessarily transition over to the Premier League. Well, especially for the money that we're going to have to pay for him, or that anyone's going to have to pay for him. But you never know, I could be wrong, but that's just my instinct. I could be completely wrong. But anyway, we're going to break this down. So, Victor Gyokores is a physically imposing, versatile striker, known for his strength, dribbling, and ability to both link up play and run in behind the defence. He excels at holding up the ball, shielding it from defenders, and either playing in teammates or driving into space himself. He is also a strong finisher and a threat in the air. His strengths are his physicality and hold-up play. Gyokores is strong and powerful, making him difficult to dispossess. He uses his strength to hold off defenders, shield the ball, and bring teammates into the game. He's a capable dribbler, able to drive with the ball at his feet, especially in transition. He's also a threat to run in behind the defence, making him a dual threat in both holding up play and stretching the back line. Finishing. Gyokores is a clinical finisher capable of scoring with various types of shots. He has a good understanding with his teammates, creating chances for them, and often finishing off moves himself. Okay. He's intelligent in his movement and pressing, and often anticipates passes and intercepts the ball in dangerous areas. Now, his areas for improvement. While he's physically imposing, his consistency and ability to perform at a consistently high level against top-tier defenders in a top league have yet to be fully tested. Okay? And while he's good at linking up play, there are some opinions that he may struggle in very tight, congested areas, like in the Premier League. Okay? So this is a big gamble. Now, he's quite versatile. Which makes him, tactically versatile, that is, which makes him a good fit for various tactical systems. He's very good at, at adaptability as well. He can play as a focal point in attack, a player who drops deep into link play, or as a runner who stretches the defence. And he's obviously, he can honestly still, he can finish. He can score goals. It's just a question of whether he can do it at the highest level. That's the thing. And obviously, he suits Ruben Amorim's system, so he knows Ruben Amorim well. But I don't know. 70 million euros is quite a big gamble for the guy. But we'll see. But let's go back to the chat. Let's see what the crack is here. Where are we at here? Look at the chat. Got a few people talking here. Rashford is nowhere. Da-da. Done all that. Okay, niche fan. But doesn't Gyokores want UEFA Champions League football and to live in London? I thought that was his motivation to specify Arsenal. Yeah, no, fair enough. That's probably why he wants to go to Arsenal specifically, because he wants Champions League football. And I don't know about the living in London situation, but I can totally understand why he wants to go to Arsenal. They're in desperate need of a number 9. So yeah. But the thing is, if Arsenal are messing around, he might get frustrated as well. He might think, well, do you want me or not? Pay the money and let's get this show on the road. So he might be looking at that and thinking, well, you obviously don't want me that much. Just, give me the money. But if Man United are going in there and he knows Ruben Amorim, and if Ruben Amorim's been on the phone to him and saying, look, we need you. I know you want Champions League football, but if you come to Man United next season, we've just bought Mbeumo, we've just bought Cunha. We want you. You're the final piece of the puzzle. If you come, you will give us Champions League football next season. And then the season after that, we'll be able to buy this player, that player as well. And then we'll be able to not only be in the Champions League, but compete in the Champions League. These are the things that Ruben Amorim could be saying to him. So that could be a thing. I can't see him coming, personally. I don't think Gyokores will be playing for Manchester United next season. But I was wrong about Marcus Rashford playing for Barcelona. So who knows? Who knows indeed? Famous number 7. Hello, my friend. What are you saying here? Would you rather be alone in the woods with a bear or a scouser? That's a very good question. I could say something, but I want to keep this channel clean. Everyone's welcome here. This is not that kind of channel, famous number 7. Behave yourself now. But a good question. But maybe for another time. But yeah, as ever, everyone watching, thoughts in the comments. The Big D reads all of the comments, and he's always interested in what is on your mind, whether it's about Scousers, Bears, Gyokores, Marcus Rashford, or old school footballers. The Big D likes to talk about old school football. Anyway, who are we talking about now? Have I got something else here? Niche fan. If we could get Gyokores, it would be amazing, but Amorim isn't completely safe if things don't go well next season. I agree, Niche. I agree, mate. I think he's got until October. Whether he gets a number 9 or not, he's got 2 attackers that can potentially give him 30 extra goals next season, and he should be able to bring on Rasmus Højlund on a little bit in the pre-season, because he's got a pre-season with him now, so we can clearly explain to him exactly what he wants more, and he'll give him chance to sort of get used to Ruben Amorim's system. So he should be scoring 15 goals next season. He's done that before in previous seasons. So if Man United don't dramatically improve by October, well, I mean, there's going to be question marks, because we've just spent 120 million on 2 attackers. 120 million. Premier League proven attackers as well. It's not like we've gone out and bought a wonder kid or something. Premier League proven prime level football, Premier League footballers. So Ruben Amorim needs to hit the ground running next season, or he's out. He's out. It's as simple as that. You think we should just go for Watkins and move on? Disagree, pal. I don't want Watkins. I mean, if Aston Villa want rid of Ollie Watkins, I mean, that's saying something, Yeah, because we'd have to pay 60 million for him. If we're going to pay 60 million, we might as well pay it for Gyokores, or just give Juventus 60 million for Vlahovic. So, I don't know, mate. I don't know about that one. But anyway, just moving on. So, the Big D got a little bit of a announcement there while he was talking. So, Manchester United have officially announced... Let me just get it up here. Breaking news. It's not breaking, really, but it's been announced. Brentford forward Bryan Mbeumo has moved to Manchester United in a deal worth up to £71 million officially. After weeks of protracted, have I said that right? Protracted talks and rejected bids, United and Brentford agreed a package last Friday that included a guaranteed £65 million payment to be made in 4 instalments, as well as £6 million in add-ons. Wow, £71 million. And Mbeumo, who has signed a 5-year deal with the option of a 6th, has joined in time to be part of the United squad that flies to the United States tomorrow for the club's pre-season tour. The forward said, "As soon as I knew there was a chance to join Manchester United, I had to take the opportunity to sign for the club of my dreams. The team whose shirt I wore growing up." Doesn't that warm your heart? A United fan who actually loves the club, wants to wear the shirt, is enthusiastic about it. He wants to come despite interest from other clubs. I love that. I love that. "My mentality is to always be better than I was yesterday. I know that I have the spirit and character to reach another level here, learning from Ruben Amorim and playing alongside world-class players." Not that many world-class players at United at this point, pal. But hopefully, yeah, you can help bring on a few and so they can get that badge on their CV. And Mbeumo continues, "Everybody told me about the environment that is being created here and how exciting the plans are for the future. This is a massive club with an incredible stadium." You haven't been there that often, pal, have you? "Amazing fans." I agree with that. The United fans are the best fans in the world. "We are all really determined to challenge for the biggest trophies." Excellent. I love that. What a thing to say from Bryan Mbeumo. That has just warmed my heart and given me extra confidence that he's going to do well next season and that we're going to kick on next season. That's good. That's good. Spurs were after him, but he pied them off. So here's the add-ons. It is understood the add-ons for Mbeumo are very achievable, mostly based on appearances and goals in the Premier League, meaning it is likely Brentford get close to the 70 million for him. If United can resurrect their trophy-winning form under Ruben Amorim, then it is even more likely the fee reaches the full 71 million. The likely extras mean Brentford stand to make more than 60 million in profit on a player they signed for just 4 million from Troy Ayres in 2019, and who went on to score 70 goals, as well as making over 50 more for his teammates. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So, it's absolutely official. Medical pass. He's going to be on the pre-season tour. He's got the right attitude. He's a United fan grown up. Bryan Mbeumo seems to be an absolutely fantastic signing for Manchester United. And, yeah, I mean, I think that's great. I think that's great. Now, this brings me on quite nicely to this Nicholas Jackson situation. Now, apparently, there's a few teams after Nicholas Jackson. And Chelsea have put a price tag on his forehead. And they value him at between 80 and 100 million. I mean, he's 24. He's subject to interest from clubs in Europe and Saudi Arabia. But they're not interested in selling him, apparently. Or at the very least, they've got no pressure to sell him. And he's got 8 years left on his contract. Now, it says here that Chelsea are using the £79 million Liverpool are paying for Hugo Ekitike as the benchmark for any potential deal for Nicholas Jackson. And the reason for that, Chelsea feel that Jackson has a better scoring and goal involvement record over the past 2 seasons in a higher standard league. Now, fair enough. However, I wouldn't say Ekitike is worth that money either. And I wouldn't say that Jackson is worth between 80 and 100 million. If you're going to be paying 80 and 100 million for a player, they need to be scoring 30 goals a season. That's absolutely insane. How much did Bayern Munich pay for Harry Kane? Now, Harry Kane's an elite level striker, and I think they paid about 80 million for him. So if he's worth 80 million and he's 32, he should be worth about 30 million. That's absolutely ridiculous. I don't want Nicholas Jackson. I mean, he's a good player, and if they said you can have him for 30 million, then fair enough. But 80 million, absolutely not. I think Man United should move on. They'll get Dusan Vlahovic for less than that, and I'd rather the punt on Sesko than pay anywhere near 80 million for Nicholas Jackson. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you guys because that is absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. But let's go back to the chat. Let's see what we say. Bang, bang. Pat for life. Good to hear from you, my friend. Big D. Ronaldo was magical when he was at Manchester United. Rooney, what an amazing player. But I'm sorry, CR7. What? So I'm assuming that you're saying you think CR7 is better than Rooney. Fair enough. I think overall in his career, yeah, he is. But I would always argue that Wayne Rooney was the more talented footballer. But what made Ronaldo better overall than Wayne Rooney was Cristiano Ronaldo was the better athlete. Okay. Also, as well, Wayne Rooney often sacrificed himself for the benefit of the team. Ronaldo never done that. Ronaldo was always insistent that the team play to his strengths. So everything had to revolve around Ronaldo. So you could say that Ronaldo was more intelligent than Wayne Rooney. Certainly more intelligent, and he maximised his ability, and he made sure the teams maximised his strengths for the benefit of the team. And, for 10 years, it kind of worked, to be fair, so fair enough. Famous number 7. A few years ago, we missed a trick with getting players from relegated sides. Ramsdale, Tielemans, Vardy, Barnes. Are there any bargains United could and should get this year? Yeah, absolutely. Thomas Muller, he's on a free. I mean, he would be good to have in the locker room. We get him for nout. Give him 100 grand a week. He would bring some appeal, bring some eyeballs from Germany. He's got elite level mentality, and he would help bring on Rasmus Højlund. And you could even say the same for Jamie Vardy because he's on a free as well. Get him in for a similar reason. He could teach Rasmus Højlund all the little tricks of the trade, positioning and things like that, just like Paolo Maldini did for Diogo Dalot when he was out there in Milan on loan. So yeah, I think that's fine. And also Evan Ferguson, he's a talent. He's getting shipped out to Roma. I reckon, he would give him a punt, on loan with a potential to buy him as well. So, yeah, those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head, famous number 7. But that's a very good question. I remember that summer when we missed out on Tielemans. He's an amazing player. How he got to Aston Villa is beyond me. And they got him on a free as well or something, didn't they? Good grief. Bang bang Pat for life. Banking goals like the one against Porto, and I get you. Banging goals like the one against Porto, and scoring headers against Prime Chelsea in Champions League final CR7. Yeah, that goal against Porto was amazing. And to be fair, there was a big question mark that season. I remember that season in 07-08, with Cristiano. The argument was that Rooney was the better player because he always scored the goals against the big sides, whereas Ronaldo didn't really score the goals against the big sides in the big games. But he kind of proved them wrong when he scored that header in the Champions League final. And obviously he's gone on to score massive goals against massive teams since then. So Yeah, I remember that. Cristiano, always proving people wrong. Fair play. Niche fan. Brilliant. Brian is amazing and Prem proven. Those who slate him are just jealous we got him. He's going to be amazingly good. He's going to play amazingly for us as he loves the badge. Yes, I agree, Niche fan. Bang, bang again. And I watched my video. Would you reviewed Gary Neville talking about England not winning Portugal? Hello, we beat you twice. Get over it, and we were better. Yeah, you did, Bang Bang, beat us for life. Bang Bang, Pat for life. For some reason, I thought you were Thai, mate. But you're obviously Portuguese. But I thought you were Thai. Cause isn't Bang Bang a Thai name or something? I don't know. But yeah, I'm not going to get over it, Bang Bang. No, I'm not. We had you there. If Wayne Rooney hadn't broken his metatarsal against you in Euro 2004, that would have been a different kettle of fish, mate. And you know it deep down, pal. You know it. But difference of opinion. Obviously, I respect your opinion, Bang Bang. Not a problem. Niche fan. Brian will earn himself the number 7 shirt. Yeah, fair enough. That's a good shout, that. That's a good shout. Depends on how Mason Mount does next season, of course. You never know. Mason Mount could just have a season injury-free and becomes an absolute world beater. Because, don't forget, Mason Mount is a very, very good player when he's fit. Remember, he's a Champions League winning player. So if he can stay fit and get back to the level that he used to be, then, he's earned the number 7 shirt, if you ask me. But if not, then I think Brian and Boomo would be a suitable number 7. Not a problem at all, pal. Chelsea is taking the apps. Yeah, I agree. With the 100 million valuation of Jackson, 100% agree. The ref has already got him in the book before he even steps on the field, let alone the amount of chances he misses. I 100% agree. I don't think Nicholas Jackson is worth that money, but they don't need to sell him. They're just sort of taking a chance that if someone does want him and they do want to pay it, then they can have him. But they're in a very strong position. They're using the Ekitike signing as a benchmark. He's on an 8-year contract. He hasn't made any noises about wanting to go. Maybe they're trying to entice one of the Saudi Arabian teams to come in and pay 150 million for him. Maybe that's what they want to do, because those Saudis are just throwing money around, ridiculous sums of money. So maybe they're just trying to chance a sale, chancing to get a little bit of a punt. But wow, 52 minutes in, and I'll tell you what, the chat has been on fire tonight. Shout out to Niche Fan. Shout out to Not Brett May. Shout out to Bang Bang. MU Intrigued. Famous number 7. Who have I missed? I think that's everyone. You have been absolutely amazing tonight. The Big D appreciates all your questions. There have been some cracking questions, some cracking comments, and it's been a very interesting chat for the Big D tonight. And again, the Big D, once again, for the 3rd time, would like to profusely apologise for the technical issues experienced at the beginning of tonight's live stream. Still have no idea what went wrong. Still have no idea how I fixed it. But it fixed. So we've chatted for 54 minutes just about. Oh, we've got a couple more questions. Niche Fan, Jackson is worth the price of Greg's steak bake as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, and them steak bakes are overrated as well. But I agree, Niche Fan. Niche Fan, I've said we should get Vardy, but some of the Reds channels said absolutely not because we'd be laughed at. Well, we're getting laughed at anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But those other Reds channels, I don't know, some of those other Reds channels, they're just... I'm not going to name any names because some of them are really good. I mean, Goldbridge is... he's the benchmark for these Man United fan channels, so big shout out to Mark Goldbridge. He's funny, he's got a slick operation going over there. So fair enough. I don't know what he says about the Jamie Vardy situation, if he's disagreed with that. I don't know. But if there's one thing Alex Ferguson was good at, it was spotting a potential bargain, and getting Jamie Vardy on a free. I reckon Fergie would have snapped him up, especially if he had, say, someone like Rasmus Højlund struggling with becoming an elite Premier League striker, because he's got the physical attributes. And he's got the work ethic as well, which is very important. But he just needs sort of the mental acumen, those little tricks of the trade that someone like a Jamie Vardy or a Thomas Muller could provide him. So, yeah, I don't think it would be worth getting laughed at. It would be worth the social media scrutiny snapping up at a Jamie Vardy or a Thomas Muller to help coach, especially if you just announced, yeah, we're getting Jamie Vardy in. He'll be a good squad member, he's still got a goal in him, and he's going to help bring on players like Rasmus Højlund. That's all they need to say in a statement, and it would be a fantastic move. So, yeah, bang bang. I just feel like the way Ronaldo in the first spell out United is a bit unfair enough. I feel like you try to put him down to uplift Rooney, respectfully, in my opinion. Okay, fair enough. But the thing is, bang bang, I used to live right next door to Old Trafford around that time. So I lived just down the road from Old Trafford for from 2006 to 2008 before I moved to London. And what you used to be able to do back then, you can't do it now. You can't do this now because Man United have clamped down on this. But what you used to be able to do, you could just turn up at Old Trafford and just hang around the ticket office, and there would always be someone there that would have a spare season ticket that they would give you in exchange for paying for the price of the match day ticket on the day. And then you would, and they used to have the season tickets on a laminated card. So you would sit next to them. They would give you the season ticket. You'd scan it. You'd get into the ground. You'd give them 35 quid or whatever it was, and then you'd watch the match, right? And I used to do that on a regular basis. So I saw the greatest Manchester United team of all time play, and that was that United team between 2006 and 2009, right? And I used to watch them regularly. And yeah, Ronaldo was amazing. He was. But Rooney was the heartbeat of the team. He was. And Ronaldo benefited a lot from Rooney and Tevez' hard work. He did. I'm not saying it to put him down necessarily. I'm just telling you the facts as I see it from my own eyes at the time, being there in person at Old Trafford. Wayne Rooney would chase down everything. Tevez would chase down everything. Ronaldo didn't chase a lot. He didn't. And he didn't do it second time round as well. And unfortunately for Ronaldo, in the second stint at Man United, he wasn't the player that he was in his first stint. So it became more glaring in his second time at Manchester United as opposed to what it was like in his first time, because for all the work that Ronaldo didn't do, what he did do was absolutely world class. And he was world class. He deserved the Ballon d'Or that season. He did. He was amazing. He was absolutely amazing. But he did benefit a lot from Tevez and Ronaldo's and Rooney's hard pressing up front. Okay? And it was the same. It was the same at Barcelona, not at Barcelona, Real Madrid as well. Even Jose Mourinho said, "Look, Ronaldo, I know you're not going to track back, so I'm not going to play you on the left wing." And this was in a big cup final against Barcelona. I'm going to play you up front. Just stay up front and concentrate on scoring goals. That's all you need to do. And he did. And he was an amazing goal scorer. He was. But he didn't work hard for the team a lot. And he didn't. And he didn't, to be fair. So I don't mean any disrespect to Ronaldo necessarily, bang bang, because he is the second greatest player of all time. Fair enough. But he benefited a lot from other players. But yeah. Anyway, I haven't had my tea. I need my tea. But people keep on talking. That's absolutely fine. I'm happy to keep on talking. Rooney and Tevez were like the Terriers the minute they lost the ball. Exactly. CR7 let them do the hard work for him. CR7 has always been about individual stats and honours. And that is an absolute ironclad fact. I agree. 100% niche fan. Absolutely ironclad. Yeah. And on that note, the Big D needs to go. He needs some food. He needs to chill out. It's been an interesting day. And it's been an interesting chat. Thanks, Bang Bang. Thanks, Niche Fan. A pleasure as always. I will see you again in the next one. Not sure when it's going to be. Keep your notifications on. And I'm sure I'm going to pop up like a gorilla, Guerilla, a gorilla YouTuber, Man United YouTuber. I could pop up at any time. So keep an eye out. Go and have your tea, Big D. Thank you for your time and doing the stream. Thanks, Niche Fan. Appreciate it, my friend. I will see you, Niche Fan, and I will see everyone else in the next one.